Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening in. I am so excited to have you here for our first official podcast for Marketing Mindset. Last week, I talked about my story a little bit and my why I do what I do. And this week, I'm going to be using my expertise as a digital marketing specialist alongside my training as a practitioner of neurolinguistic programming, Timeline therapy, and hypnotherapy to help you break through what may be holding you back from succeeding with your online presence. I'm going to start off by talking about your website. I think it's safe to say that we all know how important it is to have one. It adds value to your business with an online brochure, and it gives you instant credibility. Now, have you ever wondered if the content that you have on your website, not just what you're selling, but the writing itself, is turning people away from working with you? Hopefully after today, we can know for sure.
You're listening to Marketing Mindset with NLP coach and digital marketing specialist, Katie McKay Kasdorf.
Hey there. So your website content. Now, it is important. It keeps visitors on your site for longer, and it lets them know if they're going to be a customer or not. It's also one of the only few ways that you can really differentiate yourself from your competitors. Your content is your way to get across, your company message, offers, deals, anything like that. And you can really show your work and explain what you do and how you're different. So why would you not want to be the one that writes that content, seeing as it is an extension of you and your business? You want your prospects and anyone coming to your site to clearly understand your messaging. You want them to know who you are and be compelled to take an action that ends with you getting money. People now do business with people and less with the company itself. So you want your voice to be heard. What you need to do is you need to speak in the language of your customer. It's important to use different types of language. Now, when you're talking about one specific thing, you can either see, hear, or feel what it is that you're talking about. It's important to know what language you speak in to make a point of speaking in the other languages as well, if that makes sense. So you have to ensure that you address all of those in your copy. You want the person reading to say, hey, that makes sense to me. They'll feel more connected to you and be compelled to purchase. So if you're talking to somebody one-on-one, you can listen for their cues, hear the language they use, and know what type of language that it is that you want to be using back with them. But with your website and other materials, you have to cater to multiple people who have a variety of ways to take in information. It's a pretty safe split between visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, so you should try to fit all of these into your marketing. Visual people process what they see. Infographics, videos, strong design choices, those sorts of things appeal to them. Saying things like, hey, take a look at this, or imagine this, those stand out for them. Now, auditory people are interested in sounds. So if you say something like, hey, hear me out here, or tell me more about this. Now, kinesthetic is the language that I use most. I am all about hands-on learning. I need to be able to participate by clicking or acting in some way. Can we tackle a problem together? Get me to click on the link to look at something else. If you have it on there, chances are that I'm going to do it. And it's something that I'm aware of. So when I'm writing things out, I have to make sure to incorporate the other styles as well to make sure that I appeal to the visual and auditory learners as well. I don't want to turn those people away. So I know you're thinking that the last time you wrote this much was for your business plan. Maybe you dislike writing, you feel as though you're not very good at it, or you simply don't have the time for it. I get it. We're business owners. It's tough. But the beauty of writing your own content is that you don't need to write a fully polished collection that is ready to copy and paste to the page. Most web designers or branding specialists will be able to take your content that you write and craft it into a more polished and edited collection of work. It makes their job easier to do it, and it gives your content the benefit of being 100% accurate because you know your industry the best. You are the expert in what you do. A designer or branding specialist can then use your unique voice that you have written to inform any other areas of content that they need to craft in the future. Now, if you're not hiring a designer or branding specialist, it's still good to have a friend or a relative with an eye for this edit your material. The key is to start with your words and then work towards getting it ready to put online. It will be your voice, and it'll seem more sincere and refreshing to visitors compared to canned descriptions and impersonal paragraphs that can be found on any website in your industry. So be sincere, be authentic, be you, and your website will receive better, and it'll start working for you. Now, one of the things when writing your content that I do have to bring up, and it may seem self-explanatory, but websites all over the internet are guilty of this content sin, not telling their audience what the purpose is. Now, it may seem simple, and I'll give you ours, for example. We build websites. The bigger explanation, the one that your audience wants to know, and our audience wants to know is why. Why are we building websites? Now, this can be done through a few avenues, and all of them can be important. Now, it sounds easy enough, doesn't it? Some websites can make a statement in the first paragraph on their page. It's sort of an elevator pitch or one-sentence mission statement that lets their visitors know what they're about and why you should be loyal to that company. Now, this has the benefit of setting the tone right off the bat. What I say is, simply put, we provide high-end custom websites with ongoing support. We offer websites that not only look great, but have the functionality to do some of the work for you. Because each website, we are building more than a series of pages on the internet. We are building relationships with you, our client. Right away, the customer knows more about us than they did before. Our purpose is, not to just throw a site up on the internet, hand it over to you and say, hey, good luck. We want to show our clients that we aren't just another bill, but instead an investment in themselves and their business, knowing that it will grow. The primary way to provide your purpose is through a more detailed mission statement. So it can be usually found in the company description or within the front page somewhere. It's a matter of information design at this point as to where it goes, and you can talk to your designer about that. The mission can be accompanied by a story, an anecdote, or, a description as to why this is your company's mission. So recently, I met the most amazing young entrepreneur. He heard the story of a friend who was going home on the weekends to no food. Every weekend, he was going with about one Cliff Bar per day, and that was it. He was at the school lunch program during the week, so he was fed lunch, but the weekend was a different story. So this guy, the empathetic feeling that he had with all of these questions of why kept coming back. And he knew because the problem was as close as our own neighborhood, there could be something that we could do to fix it. So they found that there were no existing programs like this to help kids in middle and high school, so he created one. Though he had initially created it to allow peers to eat on the weekends, it turned into so much more. Realizing that 1 in 5 children in BC are living in poverty, he had the mission to bring this program to so many more communities. Now, doesn't this story just tug at your heartstrings? You want to learn more about it. You're connected to it at this point. What an amazing mission. It's so much more than just providing lunches to kids. It's about enabling youth to create change forever. Now, the second way to support your purpose is through your vision. Whereas your mission declares your purpose for the company, your vision will describe where your company aspires to be in the future. This is essentially defining what your purpose for being is, if everything goes to plan, where are you going to be? Now, widgets on websites, for example. Now, if your mission is to create the most innovative widgets, then your vision might be to have the most state-of-the-art in-house widget research facility and team. Perhaps your mission to create the most innovative widgets leads to a vision of one of your widgets in every household. Your purpose now is a description, a context, and a future. Now, the third way to support your purpose is through your values. Now that I'm at the third way, I'm sure you figured it out: mission, vision, values. And it is so important. Do not forget about these. You need to have it in your business. There's a reason that it's said so often. And it may sound like something visitors and potential customers should assume, but if you value excellent customer service, say it and explain how you're going to be making it a value of yours. And make sure that you follow through too. So now that you have a set of values, your purpose has a description, context, future goals, and values to guide the company towards that purpose. It may seem easy to jot it down on a piece of paper. However, the most effective ones are usually given a great amount of thought. They take all these aspects into consideration, and they let the audience for your website see a good amount of the work that goes into it. There are many tools out there to help with the creation of these three things, and a branding specialist is someone that can help you guide you along your way if you get stuck. But armed with this information, you will be able to set yourself apart from your competition by creating a unique purpose for your company, even in some of the oldest and busiest markets. So, this is and has been my first podcast, hopefully of many, and I'd love to hear your feedback. So if there's something that you'd like me to cover, I'm open to suggestions. One thing that's important to me is that you see the value in what I'm doing and that it helps your business grow. And I want you to be able to use these in your business right away and see the magic happen. You can listen to this and other podcasts on the website, marketingmindset.ca. Thanks for listening, and I hope you tune in next time.